thing is obviously, this legislation, that's what police officers believe gives them the power and the authority to act in those ways. But, depends on your take of law and legislation and all that sort of thing. But the system is as it is, so we need to understand it, learn it, and try and work within it, and make the most of it if we can.
Yeah, I've got a question. Sorry. I've got a question. How does this legislation, is it different when it comes to the police dealing with children and minors? Because there's this article that came out recently that apparently the London Metropolitan Police in the past 5 years a strip search, about more than 4,500 children over the past 5 years, starting in 2008, I think. So, how does this? Is this legislation different or not?
Well, the legislation is basically what we call the law, right? So I don't know. It's potentially whether when you say children, you say what you really
under the age of 18.
Under the age of 18.
Yes.
So you can be criminally responsible at the age of 12 in England, isn't it? Something like that.
But you've got to have a responsible adult present.
Yeah.
If you're
I'm sure if you were, especially if you were under 60, I'm sure there would be somebody like a social worker or somebody there who would be there just as an independent,
you're
body.
entitled to get vet.
When you're in cells, if you're under 16, you have to have an adult with you.
Okay.
Whether it's your parents
And that's your parents or a vet.
Right, so a guardian, someone who's responsible.
Someone who can act as a guardian.
Okay.
It can be a social services person.
Yeah. Or potentially your duty solicitor, maybe.
Over 16 though, I'm pretty sure, unless
I wouldn't
it's...
trust duty because they are the ones the police pick to be.
Right.
And that's the problem, because then they refuse to call a other lawyer
Right.
in, and which is why you have to say, well, I'm not going to say anything. And the problem with that is they can keep you hanging around
Yeah.
for ages,
Yeah.
and that's the problem.
Yeah.
We'll come to these things later.
Yeah.
How long can they legally detain you?
I'm not 100% sure.
You
I
need
think
it depends
depends
on
on the
the magistrate.
So yeah, it depends what section it is or what...
The magistrate is in fact ordered you performance, but you can't be held for more than 24 hours.
I was going to say, it's generally under terrorism, it can be 72 hours.
Mm.
But generally it's 24 and they can extend it to 48 if they
But they need a magistrate to in fact enforce that.
they probably, I think if it's more than 24 hours.
Well, I'm married to our you see, so...
I think for a lot of them it is 72 hours actually. But it depends what section it is.
No, I think Jambo's right. I think it's only under the terrorism that they can.
Do
it
it
used
full
to be a lot
time.
longer than that, but they've changed it to 72 hours. I believe,
Okay.
unless they're going to charge you with something.
I only know by the code's practice.
Mm.
Yeah. So basically, if you're not charged with some criminal offence where they can only hold you for 24 hours, they
24,
haven't
okay.
got any evidence and they're not going to charge you, then they have to release you. But potentially, if
For-
you don't
for an
wanna play-
offence.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
if you,
okay.
if you get arrested and you don't play ball and you say no, I'm not accepting that, I'm not signing anything, they may well decide just to piss you off. They're going to keep you in for 24 hours, but then they have to let
The
you go.
maximum.
And then you'd make a complaint.
All they have to
Do you know what I
take
mean?
is if you completely refuse to play ball, they take you straight to the magistrate.
Do they?
Yeah, because
And
I've
stick you
been
in
through
the
this
dock.
before, where if you sit in a cell in silence for 24 hours, they still can't keep you in a cell for even longer because you haven't said anything. They just have to literally take you to court and let a judge deal with it.
Let me correct you, the magistrate does not put you in prison. The magistrate puts you under injunction.
Right.
Can do for 6 months.
Well, in fact, they would have to in fact bring some charge, the magistrate, and then the magistrate would have to wait till they could call a special judgment.
Right.
Or so I'm told.
Sure. But what would they charge you for? Would they try and charge you for contempt? But if you weren't in court, you couldn't be in contempt of court because you.
Weren't at all. And they charge you on whatever they think they can get away with.
There we go. And that's kind of how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add to what I said earlier. In fact, the article says 4,638 children between 10 and 16 between April 2008 and the end of last year, 2013. Just want to add
But that's because they are infants. Yes, and therefore obviously if you find someone wandering around the street, Yes, then, yes, and endangering themselves.
Well, you can
Anyone
take
can
them
do
back to a cell, strip them naked, and
Mm.
Yes, I
try to
don't
figure
think
out
that's
their
legal
answer.
without their parents.
So crude.
No, I am, but it's
I
just
mean, I
like, it's a
only do
bit
that
shocking.
No, this is realistic. A lot of minors are being strip searched in the police custody,
Obviously
and
just
it's
along
very
the way,
traumatic.
But
This
let's,
is excluding everybody else.
let's be fair though, I'm sure there are plenty of minors who are reprobates and may have, yeah, I'm not saying this is necessarily justification, but, you know, potentially there's a lot of kids out there who are just little terrors, do you know what I mean? And they might have all kinds of stuff on them, and who knows? You know, these kids might be potentially running drugs around for their parents. And like that.
So yours isn't one of them. Huh?
Yeah, no, too right. I mean, so I can understand where that figure comes from. Obviously, you know, without knowing the details, you don't know for every single case